Here is my audience for my persuasive speech. Hi, my name is Jennifer Popolowski, and this is my persuasive speech on why reading to children is so important. Prior to writing my outline, I asked several parents that have children how they felt if reading to your child was really important or not, especially at birth. Most of the parents that I talked to, some said that, well, once they enter kindergarten, they'll be taught to learn how to read and write, so they'll just wait for their child to enter school. Others thought it was important. They liked the idea of it, and they do read to their children. Reading to your child develops good cognitive skills, strong language skills, and sets your child up for academic success. Reading not only does those things, but it builds a bond between you and your children, your child. It establishes a lifelong love of reading. And it also creates a great imagination for your child. How many of you know this quote? The more you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places that you'll go. Sound familiar? Well, that is from Dr. Seuss. It is a familiar quote because most of us grew up having Dr. Seuss books read to us. Most of us now may be reading those stories for our children. The quotes have stuck with us. The last time I read a Dr. Seuss book has been quite a while, but I remember from my childhood that rich language that I heard my parents reading to me has stuck with me. It's pretty repetitive, and he has a lot of rhyming in his stories. Kids like to read the same book. Some parents that I did talk to were like, yes, my child would have a whole library full of books, but they just want to read that same book over and over and over again, and they get frustrated. But you should not get frustrated. Actually, it's really good for your child to read a book over and over and over. They may not be able to read the text themselves, but they know that story. It's stuck in their heads. They've memorized it. I will discuss 3 main reasons why reading to your child is so important. But before I do, I did a little bit of research, and I found out that the American Academy of Pediatrics, who represents 62,000 pediatricians across the United States, is now urging parents to read aloud to their children at birth. I also learned that when a woman is pregnant with a child, that child has already learned their mother's and their father's voice. I also learned on nollybally.org, Dr. Pamela High says, and doing so stimulates early brain development and helps build key language, literacy, and social skills in children. First, I would like to talk about how reading builds a child's cognitive development. When you read to a baby, they can't talk yet, but they're sitting on your lap. They're holding the book. They're watching you turn the pages. They're watching you point to different shapes, different colors. You're saying this, you're pointing this, so you're teaching them the connection there. They will begin to point later on. When you say, "Where's the cow?" they're going to point. They're going to make that connection. Their language skill, their cognitive development is all coming together. They're also making worldly connections. When you show them in a book what a tree is, or what an animal is, or what color is there, they're going to go out into the world and they're going to see all of this. They're going to know that that's a tree. They're going to know that the sun is yellow. Second, even more is happening while you're reading to your child at a young age. They're developing stronger language skills. Hearing young children, have you ever heard a child use really big words? And you're like, wow, how old is your child? And to your surprise, they're only 3 or 4 years old. And they know a word that they probably shouldn't know. Well, that's because they've been read to. The rich language has been introduced to them. Pictures and words, they also start making those connections. A book doesn't have to have words. It could just have pictures. You are saying the words to make those connections. My third and final point. You are setting your child up for academic success. You do not want to force your child to read. You want them to kind of just be nurturing to them, sit down with them, if they have other interests at the time. As long as they're hearing you read, they're going to become a really good fluent reader themselves. In order for a child to succeed in school, they really need to be a good reader. We read all the time. Success does not come from a tablet, a video game, or an electronic device. It comes from books. They will be ready for school. You have read to them. They know, they've heard it. They're going to be a great fluent reader. They're going to have great imaginations. Those fairy tales that you've read to them, their imaginations are going to run wild. They're going to have an outstanding amount of vocabulary. All those words, even words that are hard for you to even pronounce, they're absorbing that into their little minds. In conclusion, I have discussed the importance of reading in starting at birth. It strengthens cognitive development. It develops strong language skills and sets them up for academic success. So, why do you not want to bond with your child? What better way than to read with your child? Open up a book. Let their imaginations run wild. Parents set the foundation. Go home and read to your child. Once they endure the love of reading that you taught them, their future will only be brighter. Thank you.